Experience Karen Hunter
in a completely different way.
Karen Hunter is awesome. The podcast.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're gonna love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of the Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. Check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed. You know that Al Green was censured yesterday. We talked about that. And 10 Democrats voted to censor him. And I'm confused. You know, I don't remember the Republicans ever going against Joe Wilson when he first broke decorum in history. Well, not in history, because people have had their ass beat on the floor of Congress. But, you know,
okay,
Charles
Sumner.
Charles Sumner, there's still blood. There's still Charles Sumner's blood in the stone there. But this, in modern history, Joe Wilson's "You Lie" was the first break in decorum that I remember, and I don't remember this outrage and the censorship and all. Like, they were okay with Marjorie Taylor Greene looking like a wild baboon and Lauren Boebert screaming and yelling. I don't remember there being this, you know, I think Marjorie Taylor Greene was censured, but it wasn't, you know, it wasn't a widespread. The Democrats had the Congress, had the House at that point. What do we make of where we are, where 10 Democrats would say, yeah, this is disgusting and it doesn't represent. Are you guys okay with this?
Go ahead, Jail.
Oh, well, I think I'm not okay with it, but I'm not outraged by it either, because there are certain things I think the Democrats have to get over this. There's only two sides of the Democratic Party, it seems. One is like, we have to prove to Trump voters that we're worthy of them. And the other lives in a fantasy land where you can just burn stuff to the ground and like protest and do nothing. Like, there has to be some understanding in the middle of that. Cause like, I'm not saying it's in the dead middle, but there are two extremes now that seem to govern the Democratic Party, and neither one is actually kind of governable. I remember looking at the footage of the Joe Wilson thing still today, and I was taken by the two reactions. Pelosi looked like she was ready to fight somebody, and Biden was like it was the two opposite, but both disappointed. He was like, I can't believe this is happening to my country and my president. Like, he was like chagrined, and she was like, I'm going to punch somebody. But 10 people, if they're in districts that are narrow districts or something where it's like they have to win over some MAGA people, on a political level, I can get it. If it's kind of like a look, see, I'm not afraid. If they have to make that, I'm not afraid to go against my party to do the right thing. Under those narrow circumstances, I get it, because it's politics. Outside of that, please, the Republican Party under Trump deserves no respect, no decency, it deserves nothing. It's this idea of and then I'll stop rambling. I still hate when the holder of the office of the presidency does not respect the office. I do not believe you are required to respect the office.
That's what I said. That's what I said yesterday. I'm like, decorum? Y'all, decorum?
Right.
What? This is what we doing? This is so ridiculous.
I thought
Roderick Morrow, let me reintroduce you. Roderick Morrow, the black guy who tips, and JLCAUVIN. Some people don't know how to spell his name, and that's fine. CAU. It's actually Cohen. It's Haitian, right? It's how would you say that in Creole?
My name is Jean-Louis Covin, but I go by JL Covin.
Okay,
but it's Covin. That N is you know. Call it a soft N in Creole and French.
Okay. Come on through with your
That's what I call Drake.
Soft N. Right, nothing, Smith. That was like
it's okay, Smith. You didn't have to get that one.
That was so beautiful.
It's probably better that Smith didn't get that right away.
Okay.
But what I feel very similar to JL, but I also know that I'm an outlier. The antics and all the, like, I don't need that. I know some people do, so I understand that, you know, like I hope the TikToks that they're making is making y'all feel great. I hope the Instagram lives is making people feel represented. I hope when people hold up the signs or walk out or scream, I hope
pause, Roderick. Say more. Who needs this? Who needs
I
the
think there's a
signs
type of person that either feels disaffected or distant from what Democrats represent, who feel disillusioned with our political system, who sat their ass out and didn't vote last time, or who, both sides or whatever, they might need that, because I always see them being the ones that complain. They're always the ones like, how come no one's yelling? How come they didn't do this? So you just gonna let the security guard stand there? They do that all the time, and I see it on Twitter. I don't need
do somethings. I call them the do somethings.
Right. They need that, apparently. I think that is actually part of the problem with Americans, is that you think you need that. You do that. Like, that is what we go vote for. It's not a politician, just a person. They just an avatar for our collective will. They're not really deciding the policies. The people are. And right now, the people in America who want us to regress are the ones getting off their ass and voting. And that's why no matter what those Democrats do, it will be ineffective, because they don't have the numbers. It's still a numbers game. They can get up, they can all piss on the table if they want to. It won't change that Donald Trump is up there with the majority of the Senate, majority of the House, the executive branch, and SCOTUS. So do your TikTok dance, get kicked out, yell, scream. None of it matters to me. Whether you censure or don't censure, it doesn't actually matter to me, because I don't live in those districts, and I can't vote or not vote for those people. If one of them lived in my district, I would take more note, and I would definitely be like, okay, what do you really stand for? Because you can decide, is it a district thing where you were in a purple district or a red district and you found some way to be a Democrat, but you still can't be but so liberal? Because that happens all the time on Twitter, where people don't know the ins and outs of their local politics. So they say shit like, how come all of them aren't like AOC? Because AOC isn't one of the bluest districts. She get to be as blue as she wants. Some of these Democrats can't do that, or she's going to have a Republican in there. So we don't know the specifics, but everyone's angry. I think what they're really angry about is the impotence that we're feeling off of that 2% of the vote that made sure Donald Trump won. We're feeling a level of impotence. And so now we're angry at the Democrats, because those are the people we like. Unrealistically, we're like, do more. You know what I mean?
Democrats listen. That's it. Like,
right.
Democrats listen. So you complain to Democrats about stuff Republicans are doing, because Republicans don't care. That's why you don't see, as far as I know, a lot of protesting over Gaza right now. I don't know.
Also, the other thing I would say, the other reason, JL, the other thing I don't like about that about the way this has been covered, everyone spent more time talking about the Democrats than one of the most Hitlery speeches ever given on that dais. Like, I feel like it just helps them get away with it, because I feel like our time's better spent being like, hey, so he called Elon Musk the head of Doge. Legally, he's not supposed to be. In court, they are arguing the opposite. We could spend all day talking about that, but we're going to talk about whether every single Democrat, for the record, because 10 Democrats is actually not that many, but we're going to be like, if 100% of Democrats don't do what we want, then that's the real problem with America. No, the real problem's on the other side of the aisle. So that's why I get upset. But once again, I started off and I want to end it there. I recognize there's a certain type of person that must need to feel that. And I hope they get it. I don't have any reason for Democrats to, I'm not supporting the 10 Democrats who didn't censure or who censored them. So I don't feel any allegiance to them. I just feel like whether in 2 years, when it's time for midterms, none of this shit will matter. We will not be bringing this up. And if you don't carry that same energy with those 10 Democrats to the polls, then I don't care. Then you're just mad on a Tuesday.
Introducing a new podcast. Karen Hunter is awesome.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're gonna love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of the Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. So check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed.
Karen Hunter is awesome. A new podcast from Karen Hunter.